My role in the realization of this policy was to, again, determine what rights we had, what rights the tenants had, and what we actually had the right to implement with respect to setting guidelines, what we could do, whether we had to offer smoking places or not, whether we could evict if a tenant was smoking and they violated our policy. So the main documents are again, the notice. Notice is just huge, and the lease addendum, and then the warnings that go out and let them know that they violated the lease.
Upon policy implementation, a measure that we put in place in order to make it easier for all of the property managers, resident service coordinators, or the people on the front lines to have all of the material at their fingertips, is we created an electronic folder that we put into a shared drive. And this electronic folder included all of the legal documentation. We have even the flyers and the ads and any of the printed material. The frequently asked questions flyer, if they run out, they don't have to contact me, they can print it right from their own site.
We designated an area on the property where people could smoke. So no smoking in any apartment, no smoking in public areas. And we actually poured foundations with cement platforms and put benches in for an area where tenants were allowed to smoke. The only place on the property that people could smoke. And so that's where they went. Well, the first feedback we received from tenants is, wait a minute, what happens if it rains? You know, we're not covered here. There's no overhang or anything. And you know, I talked to the executive director about it, and we talked about it at the task force. And the word back to the tenants is simply that we do not want to encourage people to smoke. And so by providing a comfortable environment, we're encouraging you. So smoke out there in the rain, bring an umbrella if you need to. Implementation of it was kind of different because we told the tenants, all right, the policy goes into effect on this date, and it's not in the housing authority's lease. So we had to actually change the lease and do an amendment to our dwelling lease saying that you agree you will not smoke in your apartment or you will suffer the consequences, which in this case, the housing authority had a fine system. It started 3 steps actually. The first one was just a written warning saying, you know, you realize you're not supposed to smoke in your apartment. The second one was, if they called down again, a $50 fine. And then the third one was we'd move to evict the family if they continued to, you know, be habitual violating the policy. So we ended up putting that in effect. We had every tenant in the whole building sign amendment to the dwelling lease so that that way, you know, it would be enforceable if they failed to comply.
Well, this is the central monitoring station, this room in particular, for the Providence Housing Authority's security camera system. We have approximately 230 security cameras deployed throughout the city in all of our family developments and also elderly disabled high-rises. I think people, you know, with the education that you get just from TV and whatnot, people want to quit. But I think this program and even the rule that came down with the zero tolerance policy on smoking in our buildings gave that maybe added push for people to take the initiative and actually quit.
It was very comprehensive, even from the tenant part, the tenant management meetings, really letting the tenants know well in advance that this is going on. They had plenty of time to be upset, kind of reconcile, and, you know, decide that, all right, this is what we're going to do, and maybe kind of from inside say, all right, well, now I'm going to handle this thing by trying to quit smoking, and take it as a positive and not a negative.
My name is Sally Manzella, and I'm a tobacco treatment specialist with the Providence Community Health Centers. Part of this program is really about getting people to believe that they have the personal power, that they may have abdicated to this addiction, and being able to find a way to get them back to that place where their self-esteem is a little bit higher. They feel that they can do something about it. They feel like even if they have a relapse that they can go forward. So that's part of what the work is.
I'm a smoker, and they told me that the classes were going to be offered for us for free as well. So that's how I started to get into that class. My mom was a heavy smoker, and she smoked, she's about 45 now, and she's been smoking since she was about 10. And she woke up when I was pregnant. She woke up one day and just said, my grandson's coming, I want a different life for him. I'm going to quit smoking, and she quit smoking cold turkey. I love my son dearly, and I knew that he was coming, but I didn't know the effects that it could have. And once I learned that, I was like, you know, I can do this. I have to do this. They brought in posters, not to kind of scare us, just to give us an idea of how many different types of cancers you can get from smoking. You know, a lot of people think that you could just get lung cancer or stuff like that. No, you can get pancreatic cancer, all different types of cancers that you wouldn't even think of.
So they have to be ready. They have to be willing to do the hard work. Putting on a patch doesn't do it. It's a tool. Sitting with us is a tool. It's not like there's any one magical thing. And they have to do work themselves in terms of looking at their own behavior and their routines and their patterns and being able to figure out how they can give that up, how they can change it up, how they can delay smoking, how they can distract themselves. And that's all a fair amount of work, and they have to be totally willing to do that.
I've been smoking for around a little over 50 years. So start smoking because everybody else did it, and you were around people that did smoke. I've tried to stop so many times, especially when I got sick, but I went back to it because I heard of this program coming in. So I said to myself, let me try it, see what happens. And it's the best thing that could ever happen. I saw my doctor maybe about 3 days ago, and he came in very happy telling me that my lungs are cleared. He was so happy that I've stopped smoking.
People are getting this message and they are empowering themselves. We're just a tool in that process. We don't empower people, they empower themselves.
7 months after the policy, the official policy implementation in April 2011, we created a after action report and recommendations. I feel that that is really important. It included an introduction, a restatement of our goals, the major strengths of the policy, and the challenges. When we expand the smoke-free ban into our family developments, which will include another 1,600 residents, we have a tool that we can use to make the policy implementation better and smoother.
There are several factors that led to the success of the smoke-free policy. And first and foremost, of course, was designated someone as the coordinator who spent the proper amount of time working on different tools, including presentations to the residents and providing educational information to them, and also having the funds from our third-party funders to provide different types of services so to assist the residents in quitting smoking.
It was a success because the smoke-free, the smoking cessation classes were available to our PHA residents and continue up until September of 2012. 72 people were touched by these quit services, so I believe that's a major success.
And the success isn't, you know, for the housing authority. I mean, you know, okay, we stopped somebody from doing things, but it's a success for them and the tenants of the building. You know, it's the tenants that don't have to breathe in the smoke that are the real winners here. The tenants that used to smoke and stop, that don't have to pay $10 a pack. Those are the people that are really the winners here.
Can be no limit in the outreach and education that's provided to your residents in order to prepare them, which is an easier assimilation once the policy is implemented, for sure.
It will help you create a better community.
I would say to other housing authorities that they should give the smoke-free policy a try. Get some feedback from your tenants, do a survey. You'll definitely make the air a lot healthier for people to breathe and help folks live a lot longer that way. Thank you, Providence Housing Authority, for implementing the smoke-free policy and providing those free smoking cessation classes. Thank you.
I'd like to thank the Providence Housing Authority for this program because it's helped me a lot. Thank you.